What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back with another episode of high stakes action from Mayfair, London. My name is Lex Veldhuis, and this is the Triton high stakes circuit.
For NT on the big one. Yeah.
Alright, it looks like they bumped up the stakes.
All in, you go. All in.
Last episode we were playing 2,000, 4,000 pounds. Looks like they either added a straddle and possibly some antes. We will find out soon. My best guess is that this game now is 2,000, 4,000, 8,000 straddle with a 4,000 big blind ante. Straddle might be optional. And already 60,000 pounds just going to the flop, single raised pot. That would be a straight. Pretty nice flop. I love that he checks this. A lot of pre-flop raises when they have a hand like ace king, ace queen, they will give up on this flop. TritonPoker might be really tempted to take a stab at this at any point to take this away. This card is a disaster for him. I'm gonna be very happy with that. Shanghai Wong bets the pot. 58,000 pounds. This is what a straddle can do to a game, ladies and gentlemen. The action just explodes sometimes. So much out there to fight for in dead money. One is 270,000 total in his stack. He's gonna go all in. Doesn't want to face a tough river decision when there would be a bad card. Shanghai Wong just wants to make sure how much it is, but can't see him going anywhere.
Huh? How much? 400.
Okay. Open. Quick.
Dwan a little bit surprised that it took a little bit for Shanghai Wong to call there.
Oh, 抢钱的是吧？
How much? How much? 操你妈！
Yeah, no bad intent there from Shanghai Wong. Tom Dwan takes it very well, of course.
对，小盲不是3B open， 抢钱的嘛。
小盲怎么 open 哦？
400.
小盲怎么不能 open 呢？
哎，
都放光了，小盲怎么不能 open 呢？
他是大盲，
他是 straddle 了。
啊，他是 straddle。哦。对嘛，他在里面没有 straddle 怎么 open
So, massive pot there for Shanghai Wong, our biggest pot so far in this cash game. He's doing very well for himself. Off to a great start. Tom Dwan in for another 400,000 pounds. And there we see the blind levels updated. 2,000, 4,000, 4,000. Means the big blind pays the ante. Change we've seen over the last few years in poker. Makes the game much faster. Doesn't really change much about the game. Instead of the dealer having to ask everybody, ante please, ante please.
He called. He tank.
Huh?
He tank. 4-5.
What was the flop?
6, 7, 8.
Oh, 4-5 tank. How do you have?
King Queen.
핑크잉到个5-4到个红毛 K 红毛 K，
红桃 K 他 all in 啊。
我打了5万多。
Insult to injury, a walk one Thomas Queens. Can you please confirm that you just rebuff 400k, please? Thank you.
要送给他的。
操你妈！
哎呀，打244啊！
係啊。
Cash game is being played on the Triton Million event in London, 2019.
打比赛了。
开始了。
This cash game is sponsored by Les Ambassadeurs. Ooh, we see Mr. Liang there. Taking it slow with 2 kings. Wyken Young with a very powerful hand himself. And the ace-10 of diamonds. Very tricky. I like what Mr. Liang is thinking there. I mean, there's so many aggressive players at the table. We have the likes of Tan Xuan, Tom Dwan behind you. They're gonna be licking their chops when they see a raise and a call in front of them. That doesn't change anything. Gonna make Mr. Liang feel even more secure. No straight cards on board. Counterfeits 8-7. It's pretty unlikely Wyken has a 5 or would bet it on the flop. So he's gonna be feeling pretty good. Wyken knows that if Mr. Liang had anything on the flop to call with, that 5 doesn't really increase his chances of getting a fold, so he's gonna be giving up here. At least slow down the betting. There's a chance he'll check call, but doesn't do it.
什么牌？
It's a nice respect show there for Mr. Liang.
说啊。
你看电视就行。
嗯。知道规矩嘛。
I love the amount of needling in these games.
你要和不认识的人，那就我们
You see people lose hundreds of thousands in a hand, but people know the game is the game. But it doesn't mean we can have fun and laugh at our friends while it's happening.
注码还挺像的。
我知道挺像，我都输给他了。
啊，对，
我就没办法了。
There we see it. Shanghai Wong up to 750,000. In for 400, so almost doubled his stack.
被你捞出来了，妈！
你抓我抓不了啦。
我抓你一样抓，肯定抓了。妈的，一抓！
So we see Tom limping in the cutoff here. Interesting spot. Wyken knows that Elton is gonna abuse his position here since he is on a button. Best position in the game. And Wyken probably believes that he straight up has the best hand here. You'll definitely see situations where Ace-10 is being used as a bluff, but I don't think this is one of those times.
对呀，这里。看不到。
Elton just wanted to make sure that that was Mr. Liang's stack. These guys are not tanking in these situations to save face. There you go. He wants to see it flop. He is in trouble though. Well, both players with a piece there. Elton drawing very slim. Of course, if he hits the 10, his opponent makes a bigger 2-pair. So he's dead to a queen. Looks like that's a very small bet. 30,000. I like that bet. These high boards are so strong. When you put in a lot of action before the flop, no reason to bet big. It's nice to bet small because your bluffs become more cheap, and at the same time, when you do have a strong hand, you get paid easier, so it works both ways. Elton's just gonna raise. I wonder if he just wants to get the money in because Wyken doesn't have that much behind. There are 2 diamonds on the flop. There is a chance one of these guys could put the other on a flush draw. Yeah, there he goes. He's all in. Yeah, it's about 85,000 more. 95,000. I like that Tom wants to see. That just shows the familiarity that these guys have with each other. I mean, how often do you lean over to sweat your opponent's cards with them while they're in a big pot? Yeah, Elton got himself into a pickle here. Last episode we saw Elton turn a hand into a bluff as well. He does call.
没追？什么还没追嘛？这不是2个单？
有嘛2个蛋嘛，来个勾来个9个有的嘛。
Wyken is going to be incredibly happy here. Really backed himself into a corner here, Elton saying, and it's going to cost him, unless he has a queen. Some chop outs now as well, of course.
Go. Take 1C. Go.
No dice. They ran at once. 470,000 pound pot there for Wyken Young. Elton not going to be happy with that one. Tom seems excited.
Raise. Oh, call.
不太相信他。
我听，我还是比较信任班里。
That's a thumbs up from Tan Xuan.
这边3把打你会不要？
Can appreciate a nice big pot. Wyken Young on the button this time. Very next hand. He has ace king.
40? Yeah, it's 40 down. Not 40, 40.
Bench win 600k. It's a big move against the one last time with the queen 6. Is an excellent hand for this situation. If you flop a 3, you're pretty much golden. And if you don't flop a 3, it's very easy to get away from the hand. It's very hard to actually kind of drown in a pot. Man, it's really triggering me that the dealer is not putting the cards in the box. How can you put them on the line? Iken, of course, is going to be pretty pleased with this. Very draw-heavy board, though. Definitely some possible danger out there. I'm just not even going to say anymore that this is going to get a quick fold or that it's just going to be over and out from here. I mean, the things we see in these games, the bluffs people try to pull. I'll just wait and see what happens. Not this time. See if he's going for the 3-peat there. It's 2 quick folds. Don't think he's gonna get through 10-1 that easily. I like the check there from Wyken Young. Very little he can get called by. Of course, 10-1, not the easiest to fool. Ooh. There's another added benefit of checking the hand through. $23,000. Now, Wyken is not afraid of losing his hands. The question is, does he want to open up the action by raising and getting some thin value from exactly the hand that 10-1 has? Sometimes it can be very scary opening the door against the player with caliber of 10-1, and he is just gonna call. Yeah, Wyken saying that maybe he should have raised. 10-1 and making a little bit of fun of him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lovely poker room. Like you're in a castle. This is what a Louis XIV's home game looked like, I think. Mr. Liang, suited ace. Good enough from any position. I love how often Shanghai Wong re-raises. Makes for such fun thoughts. 29. That's better. Alright, nice. We see a middle pair with a good kicker for Mr. 3-better Shanghai Wong. Mr. Liang flops the nut flush draw. Fantastic board for him. Guys have about 85 big blinds behind. Ooh, Shanghai Wong decides to take it easy. He's gonna be very pleased to see that king. Once the king pairs on board, it's less likely your opponent has one. His ace-jack is gonna be looking a little bit better here for him, but little does he know, Mr. Liang makes a nut flush. This is definitely an action card. Ooh, small bet for Mr. Liang. Might save Shanghai Wong a little bit. Yeah, let's stay small. I think it's time to bring out the big guns. $65, I like the bet size. It's so hard to get away from this once you've checked the flop behind. Check the flop behind. You called a small bet on a turn. Yeah, what can you do? He's right. You can't really do much about that. Even though this pot got up to 240,000 pounds, I think Shanghai Wong got off pretty cheap there. If you show a lot of weakness, most of the time you have to follow through, because people will respond to that weakness and try and bluff you. I got Wong still with quite some profits after that hand against one. He's on the receiving end of a re-raise now. Tan Xuan on the button with a strong ace. Elton Sang in the big blind. Pocket jacks. These are about 100 big blinds deep, 400,000 pounds. $129,000. These guys are so aggressive, and Tan Xuan knows his reputation. He knows that he's very aggressive, that he likes to bluff a lot, that he likes to put a lot of pressure. One player is bluff a lot, and people push back. It's very easy to get a little bit paranoid that they just don't really respect your raise, and that's why they're making a move. Especially having that ace in your hand, it just decreases the chance of running into ace king, ace queen, and aces, of course. I really wouldn't be surprised if Tan Xuan decides to go with his hand, but he's gonna see a flop. He's in position. Elton fishing for some info. Elton can't be too unhappy with that board. But then Schwen, he's got a piece on this as well. He knows that Elton is very likely to go all in with the ace-king as well, if he were to have that hand. 2 overs in a gut shot, you have about a pot-sized all-in bet. I think Elton's going to be feeling pretty good about his hand now. He knows that Tan Xuan doesn't have 3 of a kind, and if Tan Xuan had a queen, he probably would have called already. You can't call a 4-bet before the flop top pair and then consider folding. Yeah, he makes the call. What a spot for Elton Sang here. Running it twice means that you need to win both runs to win the whole pot. If you win one of the 2 runs, you get half the pot.
1 time, 2 time. 2 time?
Very common practice this in big high stakes cash games, even online. Alright, so first run is for Elton Sang. Bench one needs a king. Doesn't do it. Elton Sang wins it all. £800,000 pot, biggest pot of the night.
What happened this time? He raised, you re-raise, he re-raise?
I want to raise, he 3-bet on button.
Oh.
I 4-bet. Like that. 这是乱来的。
Yeah, nice spot there for Elton Sang.
发个皮蛋送给他。
这是松的。
硬着头皮上了啊！我说你已经硬着头皮上了。
对啊，这是乱来的嘛。
13.
13,000.
那你算的这么清楚？
Nice flop there for Dwan.
$18.
Yep. It's it done. Just nice. Like Queen Jack matches up well with the 10. You can make some runner straights. You can make a runner flush with the Queen of Clubs. It's just nice spot to bet. You're gonna take that flop down so often. Cash game took place in Mayfair, London. Sponsored by Les Ambassadeurs. We have much more action for you guys in this high stakes cash game. Also, a short deck cash game upcoming. You'll find everything, all the cash games on the Triton YouTube. All highlights of tournaments there as well.
4? 4?
$24.
24,000. Raised 75.
Elton taking matters into his own hand here. Because this flop is good enough for jacks. Is gonna peel. Probably thinks one of his overcards might be good as well. Of course, with a 6 he makes the nuts. What a beautiful card there for Elton. One of those slightly awkward spots now for Elton after blowing up the pot on the flop. Tom almost has 2 times pot left, so you can't really go all in. If you bet 90,000 to set up a river shove or to just protect your hand or get value, if your opponent were to go all in, you're in a very nasty situation. Betting quite big here. That's the face of a man that's gonna fold. Always annoying. You hope that your opponent is making a move on the flop. That you get one of those checks on the turn, you just get to stab at it on the river, take it down. But shots on the flop. Very underrated by a lot of people. They will hit about 18% of the time if you flop one. I mean, with having 2 overcards that you think are going to be good some of the time, put shots are definitely worth fighting for in deep stacked games. Wyken again with a button re-raise. Henchman again with a very nice low pair. Very easy to just call these re-raises. Flop's the best of it, but can't be too pleased with that flop. Then again, Wyken has something to figure out here as well. He is gonna go for a bet. Definitely represents a lot of hands around that queen. I like that he takes a small stab at it. Benchmark can definitely have a lot of hands that connect with this board, but by betting small, it's like, okay, if you have one of those hands, that's fine. If you don't, I'm just gonna get folds. But Benchman sniffs this one out, makes the call. Neither player are going to be happy with that card. But I think this is a little bit harder on Wyken Young. That card is going to be so good so often for Tan Xuan. Wow. This is a really good second barrel here. It's a very hard bet to make. It's a very scary card for him on the turn there. He gets rid of Tan Xuan's hand. Nice aggression there from Wyken Young. Very scary turn, but he read the situation correctly. These two guys, of course, also have so much history together. This could really come down to a similar situation where Wyken played the nuts like that just a few days ago. Guys play all the time, we just happen to have cameras on it this time. Waiken Young doing very well for himself. Up over 200,000 pounds. Let's see if Shanghai Wang continues a trend of re-raising with these type of hands. Mix is 47,000. These guys are really deep. Both guys have won pretty big pots.
Yeah. Except I can't wear a pop. Except I can't wear a pop.
Same.
Alright, so Waiken Young takes it slow. Just to give Shanghai Wang the option to
1, 2, 3。
keep bluffing if he were to bluff.
操你妈！
敲特码。
我敲他嘛。
Sometimes with queens you get in these situations where if you raise,
没牌呀。
you keep all their good hands in, and then when the pocket's too big, all of a sudden you're not too happy with your queens. And when you should be happy with your queens, they just fold, so tries to stay out of that situation. Makes a small bet, tries to lure some ace highs in. Doesn't get it done. Good discipline by Shanghai Wang not to bet on that flop.
如果打这个有录像看，要等好几个月。
要等几个月？
要等几个月？那也是看得到吗？
你几个月后你忘记了，你还会去看呢？
我忘记了。要跟你们冠军学习。
OK， 你这么多牌。
对呀。
嗯。
怎么会有这么多牌？
啊？
The stakes were playing 2,000, 4,000 with the 4,000 ante,
发哪个牌？
all in pounds.
1对3被你逼一下，发个5。1对5逼一下，被你逼一下，发个3，他妈的上头。
哪里都容易中3条的，
面也是啊，抓鸡都抓不了的。
Right, Shanghai Wang takes a small one. Stacks are getting very deep here now. Waiken Young with 700. Shanghai Wang with 600. Elton Sang has a mountain of chips.
Raise 10,000.
There we see it, 850,000 pounds now for Elton Sang.
愿意要自家分走。
Good flop there for Shanghai Wang.
这个
Elton not ready to let go. He thinks that Shanghai Wang would bet this flop regardless of his holding. If he had Jack 10, seems like a good moment to steal. Shanghai Wang really pretending like he has exactly one of those hands.
SD 没上什么？不有个位？SD 嘛？不是呀。没人呐。
真是。
说是要给那些老外。
Kinda like this check on the river by Shanghai Wang.
SD 可以打的嘛？
Flush gets there, one of the straights gets there, but if you check the turn, it's gonna be sometimes very likely that you have one pair. So if you go for a little value bet there on the river, guys like Elton might just put you to the test and make a big check raise.
可以打，
可以打啊。
给老外的吧。
不是给 Robo， 是给 Robo 的朋友。对。但是我觉得他们不会来的，来的早就来啦。来的早就。
Robo 嘛。
Massive event. The Triton million. Of course, we all know Aaron Zhang won the tournament.
Eh, 把事情搞大一点。
Straddle。
Massive score for him. He cashed for £13.5 million. $16.5 million. I think Kenny actually took home $20 million in that tournament. Made a deal before heads up started, leaving for the winner, of course.
Yep.
没办法，给你拿 S 圈好了，给你拿 S 圈好了。
Mike Young won the main event there. Actually, beat Paul Pois heads up. The person he took over the seat from in this cash game. Mike Young took it down for 3 million.
我呀，一条小鱼。
Tom Tuan hasn't been able to make a whole lot happen. There's some pretty tough spots. That king on a turn against Shanghai Wang was really unfortunate. Straddle pot as well. The only straddle pot we've seen so far.
给他来个番茄蛋汤，来放个葱，番茄蛋汤，来。
See him flop best here.
他们这个录像要到几点？对啊，录像到几点啊？
不懂。
总共2个小时，我可能也拍到了。
24,000 from Elton. Is a double gut shot now. Can make a straight with an 8 or a queen.
How long are we filming this? How long are we
I
filming?
think he'll be confident that Jack or 10 might be good too.
I don't know when the crew's finishing. I'll find out when the crew will finish. I'll let you know in a second.
Call. 没有说时间是吧？
There's the 8.
累了就不拍了呗。
A bad roundhouse for Tom Dwan once more.
不会拍得很长呀，对吧？他在济州岛也拍一会儿时间。
3个小时。
3个小时嘛。2、3个。
4个小时。
节奏排3，
黑3是4个小时。
Like, ideally 2:30.
你时间太短的话，它做不了一个剪辑啊，懂吗？
2点到2点。
它里面要剪啊。
11点嘛，4个小时。
Overbets the pot. It's not a great run out for Tom, but it's still hard to put Elton on a hand that hits a straight on the river. It's a big chance in Tom's mind. This is a king or nothing. Some pocket 9s, pocket 8s in there too, of course. Well, he knows Elton is capable of anything. Yeah, gets rid of it. Great run out there for Elton. But who knows, maybe if the 8 didn't hit, he would have been able to pull off the same, but then as a bluff, you just never know.
Straddle one for you guys.
We'd love to see that. We're playing 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. Straddle counts as a live blind, so if it falls around to Elton Sang, he does have the option of doing anything. And Schwan thinks, Dwan is running so bad, I need to get away from this guy.
各种在澳门39路好像开3块几。
哦，和谁打呀？我是说谁打？
哎，我坐这里啊，坐这里。
上海一个毛毛。
没有，我坐这里。
另外还有谁啊？我不知道啊。澳门还开。
900,000 pounds exactly there
回到澳门一打
for
牌了。
Mr. Tang.
回到澳门一打牌了。
多大了？
澳门朋友刚才39路开局嘛。
多大了？
最少100-200万一个。39路。
和龙龙是吧？
和龙龙啊，龙龙不能装了吧？还不是个龙龙。
龙龙还有出现吗？在澳门。
Mr. Liang here. How boss is that to just be called Mr. Liang by everyone? Bench one again. Gets lots of small pocket pairs. No success so far. Well, that's the best of it again, but not the best board. Pre-flop razor checks though, that does open up a possibility for him, just to bet some protection. Gets rid of the most dangerous player on this board. Big blind's gonna connect with a lot of different hands. It's unlikely Mr. Liang has a hand like 10-7 or 7-6 from early position, but for sure that Elton Sang would have those, so definitely not a bad situation for him. People are very tempted to just call with ace highs, rightfully so, on boards like this. Both players turn a straight draw as well. A little bit of an optimistic straight draw for Mr. Liang. What I like about this bet from Tan Xuan is that it's very small, so it's definitely not a bluff. Like, he thinks that for this size, if he gets called, he's gonna be good quite often. The nice thing at the same time, he freezes the river action because he had the initiative on the turn. It's very likely that Mr. Liang, whatever the river is, will check to him. So he just gets to check behind. So he gets some money in against the weaker hands. He doesn't lose that much against stronger hands. Let's say Mr. Liang has Queen 8. He probably would have bet bigger than 18,000 himself on the river, so the bet works against pretty much everything in a positive way. Still some equity there for Mr. Liang, but it's actually Tan Xuan who makes a straight on the river. So plans are going to change. He's definitely going to go for some sort of value bet here. There he does it. This is a very tough call for Mr. Liang. He's not going to do it. That gets us to the end of the second episode of this amazing cash game here from London. My name is Lex Veldhuis. I will see you guys next time for more action on the Triton Poker Tour.